Hey, Michael, how do I look?
Look like a hood ornament. All right, welcome to You Gotta See This Movie. This is a podcast for two guys who love to talk about movies as well as the deeper themes that make these stories more than just a movie. I'm Michael, and
I'm Jim.
there's Jim. And if you like that sort of thing, if you like talking about movies, watching movies, and anything about movies, please like and subscribe so that you can keep up with all the films we're going to talk about this year.
Because I like talking about movies.
I like talking about movies too. So I do have a question for you.
All right.
And might be an unfair question. But what's your favorite movie that you saw for all of 2023? Like the new movie you saw.
The new movies
that came out in 2023.
All right.
Or you can give me your worst too.
I don't know. I was really excited about Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Because there's all like this Oppen hype around it.
Oppen hype, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really like it then. I mean, it was okay. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good, but it wasn't. It didn't live up to the hype.
Interesting.
Wait, did you like it?
I mean, I did like it.
Like a lot, like it, or like?
Yeah. I mean,
it was.
It
good.
wasn't my favorite of the year, and I'll get to what my favorite in a second. But, no, that Christopher Nolan, man, he makes a good movie, and if you could take a movie with about a bunch of scientists talking about science-y things, but yet make it feel like the movie was intense all the way through, that's a good job. And I felt like that movie was intense, even though it wasn't about any action or war or villains.
Yeah,
it was, but it was an intense movie.
I'm not saying it was a bad movie. No, it was a really good movie. Maybe it just didn't resonate with me so much.
Yeah,
I was thinking, I don't know. I was excited going in, big bowl of popcorn, got my comfy chair.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sit down and watch a really good movie, something I've never seen before. And I was just like, I was just like,
yeah.
You know what movie I really liked though and really enjoyed? I don't want
to say. It's okay to say.
I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
I like the Barbie movie.
I also like the Barbie.
That was a lot of fun,
and it's a movie that you got to see. I feel like everyone should see that movie.
Yeah. They nailed it. They hit the nail on the head as far as the characters and the culture and it was great.
Yeah,
it was funny.
So, do you have a movie that you didn't like?
That I didn't like?
Yeah,
Oppenheimer.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like I hated it. It didn't meet my expectations.
Yeah.
For what I was expecting, I guess. Yeah.
Curious.
Yeah.
I'll go with my least favorite movie that I saw this year.
Yeah.
And you probably never heard of it, and it was hardly ever in the theaters, but it was this. So I'm really into like movies that. There's like a creature or an animal and they're like having to survive. So like Jaws, Jaws is one of my favorite movies.
Right.
But so there's this movie that came out this year called Black Demon, which was about a giant shark that was like hunting oil rig people. And like the locals said like, oh yeah, there's the Black Demon is here. And it was a giant shark.
Well, that sounds pretty good.
You would think, right? I don't know. It got into this weird, it's a giant shark, but then it got real supernatural at times. That's where it kind of lost me, I guess. But it could have been better. So that was my least favorite. But my favorite movie was Godzilla -1.
I could see that.
I mean, not only was it a Godzilla movie that I would have liked it, no matter what, but it was such a good movie. Like the story was good. The effects were good. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think this movie was made on $10 million and the effects were crazy good.
Wow.
Or I think it was a 10 million effects budget, something along those lines. I could be wrong, but, yeah, I mean, just the story they had with this movie and with Godzilla, and I have grown up loving that big lizard. Love all his movies, even the goofy ones, the dumb ones. But I've never once ever found myself rooting against him and actually wanting the humans to. I cared about the human story in this Godzilla movie, is what I'm saying. And that's never happened.
You're saying this movie you were kind of rooting for the people in Japan.
I was,
really?
yeah. I was like, and it was like the first time since I was a kid, because I used to like have these visions like where I was a kid where I just imagined like, man, if Godzilla attacked LA, where would I go? Would I want to go see him? You know, weird stuff like that. But the idea of a giant monster coming to LA, it never terrified me. It was more of like, oh, I want to see it. This movie, I felt like really put the terror of like, what would it be like if this giant lizard attacked your city? And you'd be like, wow, that's terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But as a kid, I never thought that. Just thought it'd be cool. And I figured I can get away from them fast. I don't know why I figured that, but yeah, by far favorite movie of the year. Can't wait till I own it on physical media.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
Because that sounds really.
Yeah. And I'm not a big fan of watching. No, I like foreign movies, don't get me wrong, but I do like the English dubbed versions.
Do you think they're going to do an English dubbed version when they do the release, or
they probably will when it comes on disc?
Yeah.
But I went to the theaters and I did the subtitles. I'm just not a fan of reading at the movies. Okay, I'm not. But I was able to read this and it was good. And I almost wonder if that dubbed versions might take away from the seriousness of the movie, which is, probably what they were going for. So I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
But
Godzilla.
if you have a chance to go see that in the theaters, you should go do it.
Godzilla -1.
-1.
I don't even know what -1 means, but I like it.
Well, I can tell you.
Don't tell me.
Okay.
I want to figure it out on my own.
Well, they'll never tell you. I'll just tell you what the idea is. It's because it's right after World War II. And like that's considered zero because Japan was rebuilding from zero.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden this guy comes and they just put Japan back at -1 at rebuilding. So that was the idea. It's like Godzilla -1.
I could have figured that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
All right.
Yeah. But I too also like Barbie. That is definitely my top 5 movies of the year.
Ooh, top 5.
Yeah. But well, that's cool.
That's cool. Well, you know what the top movie of 1991 was?
Yeah, we talked about it
Terminator
last
2.
week.
You know another awesome movie that came out in 1991?
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Not Robin Hood.
Okay.
The Rocketeer.
The Rocketeer. So is that the movie we got to see?
That's the movie you have got to see, is The Rocketeer. Right. Joe Johnson, 1991. This film's about a young pilot who stumbles onto a prototype jetpack that allows him to become a high-flying hero.
High-flying hero.
Yeah.
All right. So we've talked about this. I know you're a big fan, as the stuff that you can see here on the table, and we got some more things to show later. But so what's your history on this? I mean, aside from the other stuff, but like, when did you see it? When did you first thoughts? All that stuff.
Man, I probably saw it. Was in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think I went to the preview. No, I saw it in the theater though. Yeah. Blown away. Just came out so good. And I just saw it last night. Wow. What a great movie.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since I've watched it. And last night I'm just like, man, what a beautiful film. From the very opening, James Horner's score, just the titles across the screen, Rocketeer, and then the doors open up, the hangar doors, and we see they're pushing the GB out. Moving.
Yeah.
The score, everything, yeah. And just throughout the whole thing, it's just, what a great movie.
So this is one of those movies that has like a huge fan base.
Huge fan base. There's some crazy fans out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Die-hard fans. So I guess I want to preface that with, please forgive me, die-hard fans that are, going to check this podcast out. But as a kid, again, we talked about Terminator 2 last week or 2 weeks ago. And I told you how excited I was for that. I was also excited about Robin Hood. And for some reason, this movie completely was off my radar. And I don't know why. I remember seeing the previews for it. I remember looking at him, like just the look of him looks cool.
Yeah, you see that poster, you're like,
yeah,
that's really
and
cool. I have no idea what it's about, but it looks really cool.
Right. And the helmet, I think, looks great. My uncle and my cousin, I remember, were so into this movie. And I think for Halloween, like he even made him a mask and a jetpack, and it was really cool. Really cool setup. But it took me forever to finally coming around to watch this movie. I remember once it came out on tape, we rented it, I watched it, and I did like it. But I don't know. I think just for me, I was so wrapped up in the world of the Terminator.
Yeah.
And then.
So you were still in Terminator mode when this.
I think so. Yeah. And so I liked it, but it didn't like grab me, as much as I wish it did. I wish I liked it a little bit more. But that being said.
Now you're a comic book guy.
Yes.
Did it feel comic book-esque at all? Were you familiar with the
No.
You weren't familiar
I
with
was not.
comic?
I had not even heard of the Rocketeer prior to this Disney movie. But I do know, it was a comic. It was a serial, right? Like a weekly serial strip or something like that.
No, this is Dave Stevens' original, forgive me if I'm wrong, Rocketeer fans, but I believe it's an original comic, Dave Stevens, and he did his anthology, this graphic novel here.
Oh, okay.
This is his work here, and it's his original character, his original story.
So tell me about that. Tell me about the history, because that I don't know. Like, is this an original in the time, or is this a remake of?
No, it's a total remake. When this job came in the shop, a lot of the guys in the shop were very familiar with Dave Stevens' work.
Okay.
Like, whoa, they're going to do a movie.
Yeah, I mean, I loved. I mean, the look. It's very hero-esque, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's a great story. But let's talk about the movie.
Okay. So Joe Johnston, director.
I love Joe Johnston's films.
Yeah.
I just do. He's like one of my favorite directors.
Yeah.
I like his style. I like all his films have heart to them.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I like.
Yeah, what's really cool is that because Joe Johnston, he went off to do another superhero movie with Captain America.
And that's my favorite.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Favorite.
Yeah. But you would see like a lot of, what he did with the Rocketeer into that movie.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what I loved about this movie is going back to just how he filmed it and the care that he took, because you could tell that he loved the Rocketeer. Like he just loved the source material.
Yeah.
But he also was really careful with just the idea of like classic old time 1930s Hollywood.
Right.
And like there were scenes in the movie where he filmed it like they would have filmed those movies back then, like with I want to say Lurch, but Lothar. When he's doing the match.
Yeah.
And you just see his face and the shadows of him, and that's all like classic film making back then. So they took a lot of cool care with that, and that's one of the things I liked about this movie.
Yeah, you could tell that Joe Johnston just loves this time period.
Mm-hmm. You see it in the very beginning of the movie, like that cool chase scene with the feds and the mobsters, and they're doing the old timey coppers and bad guys shootout where no one cared where the bullets went. They just
they're just firing at each other.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the catalyst of the whole movie, because if they did not intervene and the bullets didn't go into the air, because it shot the plane, right?
Yeah, we
wouldn't have a story.
That's right.
Yeah,
right.
So I like that because that's the character. That's how we get introduced to Cliff. He's a stunt pilot, right?
An adventurous pilot.
Adventurous pilot.
Brave, adventurous. And him and Peavey are getting ready to enter their plane that they worked all year on for the Nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're about to...
Then some punk gangster comes along and puts some bullets in it.
Some bullets in it.
Shoots it down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're hiding the jetpack. And I loved how, like, he's like, I'll just get this Hoover vacuum.
Yeah.
And, like, hide it so they don't, get it. They got Howard Hughes in the movie. That's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, because that's what makes it fun. Is that it's historical. It's
Yeah.
like, it is old time Hollywood. There's real movie actors in it.
Yeah.
Clark Gable,
Yeah.
W.C. Fields, and other ones.
There was
Who else was in
I was reading an article about this, that there was one actress, I forgot the name, that was in the movie. Like they portrayed her, that was still alive when this movie came out. I got to see it.
Oh, really?
I can't remember who it was.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so it's old time Hollywood, real actors, real people, and of course the fake Neville Sinclair, which is perfect.
And he's kind of like a Earl Flynn, Douglas Fairbanks type of guy.
Yeah, a lot of great characters. And Peavey.
I
love Peavey.
I like Peavey because I like Alan Arkin.
I think he's great.
I mean, he's kind of always plays the same type of character, but
yeah, I know there was some grumbling about the guys that like the comic book Peavey. He's a little gruffer.
Oh, really?
A little tougher kind of. Yeah, but I like the movie Peavey.
Yeah,
I liked his character. Soft-spoken, smart, person of wisdom. Yeah, I like Peavey.
Very smart.
Very smart.
Yeah, he's smarter than Howard Hughes. Yeah. Made his pack work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bigelow. You like Bigelow?
Yeah. That guy's a great actor. He's a good character actor. Yeah. Again, that's another guy that kind of plays the same type of dude all the time, but
he's the businessman.
Yeah.
And you want to hate him, but you kind of like him at the same time.
And I love how he's just like, okay, put the gas tank far away.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to lose all that gas again.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good scene.
It's all part of the show.
It's all part of the show.
Watching this again, there are a lot of great transitions in the movie. And I don't know if that's an editing thing or a directorial thing, but the moment that just like, wow, this is a really good movie is when, they're at Peavey's house and the feds are there and they're shooting it up and the bullets are ripping through the house. Yeah. It was a great fight. And then they grab the pack and they take off. And as they're exiting the house and running, the music from the South Seas Club kicks in, Begin to Begin. And that moment was just like, this is really cool. Yeah. Yeah. It was just such a really neat transition.
So that was another one of those old Hollywood transitions. Like they did that back then.
Okay.
And another big one was same thing when the Rocketeer's flying over the hills and then it transitions into the bed sheets.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
There's a lot of them, man. I need to go because I kind of want to go back and watch it again and just look at each transition because they were just so artistically done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just like it wasn't just like cutting from one scene to the next.
Yeah.
And it wasn't one where it was towards the end, and then Millie's like she's in the orchard and she reaches up and grabs the orange.
The orange.
It was just a beautiful transition.
Yeah.
I want to go back and look at that too. But just the way the whole movie's crafted and put together, it's just really, really, really cool.
The going back to that one scene you just talked about the shootout and the guns.
Yeah.
I just thought it was, his poor house. Like those feds just open up.
Yeah.
Right? They just, again, like that was back in the day where they didn't care if bullets went at all.
Yeah. They're just, yeah.
And to me, I'm like, how did they not shoot that giant man? He got away unscathed. That
and he just jumps in the middle of these this rain of bullets and just starts blasting back and it knocks his hat off. Remember the attack?
Knocks his hat off.
Yeah.
So let's talk about him because I liked and disliked him at times.
Lothar?
Yes.
Okay.
One, I thought he was the only one that was wearing makeup or heavy prosthesis, but it worked.
He's like
because,
a Dick Tracy character.
Yeah, that's exactly who I thought he was. Yeah, like a Dick Tracy character, but it worked, right?
Yeah, and we're first introduced to him, and you see him like from the back in his apartment.
Yeah.
And he's listening to opera, eating finger sandwiches.
Finger sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, and I mean, don't ask me who, but I feel like there's been so many, like villains based off of him. Like, well, just that scene that you just said about him. He's this murderer. He's this big brute, but yet also at the same time eating sandwiches.
He has this quiet sophistication about him. He's very cultured.
Like, yes, very cultured.
Yeah.
It's like, catch me on a different day. We'd probably be friends, but now I need to kill you.
Yeah.
But yeah, big dude, doesn't run very fun. And the only times where I'm like, or doesn't run very well, that was like, how did he get out of that house? And how does he get away? Because he doesn't run fast. How do people not catch him? But I think if they did,
he's sneaky.
Yeah. I mean, he'll destroy you.
Yeah, like when he was in the hospital, he just, he stepped out of the window onto the ledge, right? So maybe he just like maybe stood next to a tall tree and just pretended to be a tree. Probably he just ran right past him.
Yeah, those feds are just like, where'd he go? I don't know.
Okay, but if you had,
I'm gonna get past this tree first.
If you could have made the decision, like, I don't know about the character, if they completely left his character out, would have been okay. Would it worked without him? The movie.
No, because you need that guy.
Yeah, but did it have to be that kind of guy though? I guess it kind of, right? It's like Neville calls his like expert assassin.
Yeah, he's like the
expert assassin.
Because Neville has the mob, right? Or he has the mob working for him, but like he needs that guy to do some other work.
Why did he just get him to do it in the first place? He could have just
maybe
got
he's more expensive. Maybe he's like a loose cannon too.
You know what? He's probably really expensive.
Yeah, and probably a loose cannon. Like,
yeah, he has taste, so he probably finger sandwiches, the opera. He's probably really expensive.
Yeah,
get Eddie and his guys are a little cheaper.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I liked him, and I liked the fight at the end, and I think you kind of needed that. I don't know. I feel like with Indiana Jones, how he had to fight the bald Nazi. You need that force that looks, throughout the whole movie. That's more that you would think, oh, Indiana Jones doesn't have a shot. Rocketeer doesn't have a shot against that guy.
Peavey throws a hammer on him and it just bounces off.
It just bounces. Yeah. You need the force to show that there's something bigger than him, because like the fight between him and Neville, it's like they're equals.
Yeah.
There wasn't. You knew Rocketeer. Oh, I could beat that guy up, but Lothar. No. But I liked him, but again, there were just times where the makeup just looked too bad. But like when they were really doing the cool scenes, like with the shadows and the fire, that's where it looked really cool.
The only time it kind of blew it for me was when he's talking about Rocket, and it kind of lays him.
Yeah, did he do the voice for that, or was that like a dub thing?
Oh, I'm sure they added it, but he had to try to make the mouth look like it's saying it, and it was just kind of
because it
kind of puppet mouth.
The makeup was too thick.
Yeah, but that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the airfield guys, the crew.
Oh yeah,
those guys were great.
Mm-hmm.
They just felt very real, very, family like, amongst their little troop. Yeah. And Malcolm, the old air pilot Malcolm, was just always kind of screwing things up, and he's just older, and
that was like their little sense of family.
Yeah.
Like they even had that diner, and they'd go in there, and everyone would be there. And then the minute the mob goes in, like they didn't have to like bat an eye. They were like, oh yeah, I think they said he moved to Idaho or some state. Like I think he left.
That's like, it's almost like walking in on like somebody's family dinner in their house.
But they didn't skip a beat onto like, no, like we're not giving up you any information on Cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're all on the same page right away.
All on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a little piece of Did You Know, Jim?
Hit me with it.
Because again, this is one of your favorite movies. But,
yeah.
So I'm watching it a couple nights ago, and the first scene where you're in Neville's house, and I'm watching, I'm like, man, that looks so familiar. Like the whole, like the look of the house.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that looks so familiar. Like, where have I seen that from? I look it up, and I guess it's like a real house, or it was a real house.
It is a real house.
Yeah, not necessarily the set, but it's based off a real house,
right?
And like a real design from back then.
The Ennis house.
The Ennis house, yes.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah.
In Los Feliz.
So you know all that.
It's in Los Feliz,
but that's not the Did You Know.
I know, but I probably know you Did You Know, so go ahead.
Oh, you did?
Hit me.
Do you know what other movies though that set has been in?
It was in a Vincent Price movie, I think House on Haunted Hill. And I think it was also featured in Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner too. And I know
also the war I remembered it. And
what do you remember?
Finally, I saw it, I'm like, that's where it's from. Predator 2.
It was in Predator 2.
Predator 2.
No, I would have known that if I'd seen Predator 2, but I haven't seen Predator 2.
Part 2, not part 1. Predator 2.
Okay.
The funny thing, so I'm watching it, and I tell my wife, because my wife loves this movie, by the way. This is like one of her favorite movies, so she was super jazzed that I had to watch it.
This is probably the only movie I know that your wife likes.
Yeah. I was telling her about like, oh yeah, that was using Predator 2, and she's like, oh, I've seen those movies. I'm like, you have not seen Predator 2.
Yeah.
And she goes, I think I have. I'm like, no, you remember, because this scene where I'm talking about, and for those of you who have seen Predator 2, you know that it's one of the most bloody scenes in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you'd remember it. So, all right, well, let's talk about Neville Sinclair.
Neville Sinclair.
Where do you consider him as far as like villains, great villains? Is he high, low, in the medium?
I think he's high. I love his line. I'm going to jump right to the end of the movie.
I was going to say something.
Your whole, everything you said was a lie.
Yeah.
Everything. You just lie, right? It wasn't lying. It was acting.
Yeah.
And that's him. That's him right there in one quote. Yeah.
That is a great line.
Yeah. He likes playing the movie star. He likes, he likes being that character and he's trying to woo Jenny.
Oh, yes.
By just saying movie lines.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
He goes, oh, you said that in this movie with that movie. He goes, yes, but.
And he tries to hit her with another one. And it's like, nope. That's good.
Yeah, he's a great villain. And it's weird to think like he had. So let's kind of go into, I guess, the end of the movie. Because as you're watching this movie, he's just some actor, and you can tell like he's, as a well-known actor, but maybe starting to like fade out a little bit, in relevancy.
You think?
I think
I thought he was at the height of his career.
I don't.
Or he said no. Who are they going to believe? Who are they going to believe, Eddie? You or the number 3 box office?
Yeah, it was something.
So he was number 3, not number 1.
Something like that. Anyways, but he was in. He's with the Nazis.
Yeah.
And so you kind of don't realize that until towards the end. He has a secret room where he's communicating with them, right? Now, I don't remember this a lot part of history, but I do know that at some point, like the Nazis were just a thing, and they weren't like, we weren't, because when this movie was made, not when it was made, but when it took place, we weren't at war with them yet. I don't think they had even invaded Poland yet. I just think that they were some weird
causing trouble,
making
noise.
Yeah. Making noise.
Making noise. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were doing that Zeppelin that was touring America, right?
Right, yeah.
So you can have this big old giant Nazi Zeppelin.
Which, yeah.
So I guess my question is like, why was he hiding the fact that he was?
It wasn't just a money thing, right? Because he knew that they were going to pay dearly for the rocket.
See, that was the thing. At first I thought it was a money thing.
Was it more about him joining their
He didn't need the money.
No.
Because this is another thing that I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
Is that the minute he gets on the Zeppelin ship, his accent changes and he's speaking German, or he's not speaking German, but his accent has a German accent now. So it's like his American British accent is gone.
He's just acting.
So he just is like, well, I'm with the Nazis now, so I'm gonna sound like a German.
Maybe his normal speaking voice is just some average Joe,
Yeah.
Joe Farmer, and he just, maybe his British accent is an act, and his German accent is an act, and his whole, maybe.
So yeah, I just wonder, like, what was his motivation? Because I don't think it was money. He had money. I think I'm starting to think that maybe he was just like a infiltrator.
Maybe he just likes power. He likes the power. He likes the power of Hollywood and the power of the Nazis.
And probably thought like, oh, these guys are going to take over the world.
I'm going to be part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spy on Howard Hughes, because Howard Hughes was all about Hollywood.
Yeah.
Became friends with him.
Yeah.
Heard about this pack.
Yeah.
Steal it.
Yeah. He's a great character.
Yeah.
And I liked that, when they're acting, when they're doing their swashbuckling sword fight movie scene, and he's really getting into it. He's just really playing the character. And then when his co-star gets stabbed,
yeah,
he kind of felt genuinely concerned.
Yeah.
Or was he just acting? Like, he didn't care, he was acting. He seemed genuinely concerned.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'll send you my personal physician right away.
Right away. Just rest.
Just rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But a great character.
But a great character nonetheless.
Yeah.
And I think Timothy Dalton, they picked a great guy to play him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
can't remember if this is pre or after James Bond. Can't remember. It might be after. I feel like James Bond, he did James Bond in the 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did think it was funny that his voice changed the minute he got on that Zeppelin. He went full Nazi. It was like, the jig is up.
Yeah.
Full Nazi now.
Yeah.
And like so many villains, right? With that MacGuffin.
Let's not talk about the MacGuffin.
Well, that was his demise.
Yes.
The thing that he wanted is what brought it. He went out like a, it was a horrific death.
Yeah.
He just burned up.
And he took out the Hollywood land sign.
Which is, I've always wondered how that happened.
Now we know.
Now I know.
Now we know that the original Hollywood land sign, they changed it to Hollywood because Neville Sinclair crashed into it with the rocket pack.
Yep.
Let's talk about Jenny. She's great. The Jenny character in the comic book is based off of Betty Page, and she was a pinup girl.
Yeah.
A little more provocative. Much more provocative. And then Jenny, I like what they did with her in the film, is she's a little more, more modest, really sweet.
Yeah.
I just really liked her character.
Yeah. She was just really quick to leave Cliff. Like, before she found out that Neville was a Nazi and a bad guy. Because remember, she was just like, I wish we can go to different places. We're always coming to this diner, hanging out with the, people. Like, I want to, we're in LA.
Go to the South Seas Club.
Let's go to the South Seas Club.
Well, she does have that thing. She wants to be an actress.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to be a Hollywood. She likes the studios and the spotlights and.
Yeah, and she's has her moment with on the set. That's when Cliff comes and knocks the whole thing down.
Right.
Yeah. If I was Jenny, I would just not even admit to knowing the guy.
Yeah.
I would have been like,
I don't know. Who's
I don't know who that guy is.
I don't know.
Yeah. But she grabs him. I guess that's a compliment to her sweetness, because she went and got him. But but still, to me, I was just like, wow, she moved on pretty quick. The minute someone's just like, I'll take you to the South Seas Club.
Well, she's not going to turn it down.
You're right.
I don't know. I never got the impression that she really took this Neville guy seriously. I mean, I didn't see it as that.
Yeah.
I laugh every time in the South Seas Club where Cliff dresses up as the waiter, spills the soup, and then he's just standing there, and he's like, he's just standing there, and he starts
the flower.
He's messing with the flowers.
Yeah.
It's just so funny.
Yeah. And she knows the whole time, like.
Yeah.
And she didn't care, I guess.
And Neville's giving him a look, and he's like, "Have you worked here long?" He's like, "Oh yeah,
I served you last week."
Yeah. What on you last time, Mr. Sinclair? Characters are great. The time period's great.
Awesome.
Story's great.
And again, it's another one of those movies where I just love when movies film where I live. And you got the whole ending scene at the observatory.
Yeah.
Which I'm getting ready to go there pretty soon because my son wants to go there for his birthday.
Yeah.
And I'll reenact that Rocketeer scene. So
we're going to go up on the roof with a Mauser?
Yeah. Just Yeah. I'm going to be like, look, this is where the whole Nazis were hiding in the bushes.
Yeah.
The whole time.
The whole time.
This is where they were.
The Zeppelin flew over and the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
What'd you think of Howard Hughes?
Oh, you mean Locke from Lost?
Yeah.
Terry O'Quinn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you haven't seen Tucker, right? You haven't seen.
I have not seen Tucker.
Okay,
because I get that movie confused with the Hucksucker Proxy.
And I don't know how you can, because they're completely different movies.
I don't know why I do.
But there's Howard Hughes is in Tucker as well.
Okay.
Which is really cool.
All right.
But it's played completely different than the Howard Hughes and Rocketeer.
Mm.
I think probably a little more real to life, a little more quirky and odd. I liked what was the character? Lost character?
Locke,
yeah. I like his version of Howard Hughes better. He's
Okay.
I think he's a little kinder, a little more, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him. I liked him better.
I thought it was kind of funny. He glides away on the Spruce Goose. Or
yeah.
the Hercules.
Hercules, yeah.
And just like, it will fly.
It will fly. What do you know? It will fly.
Yeah.
In the end, the very end, when Howard Hughes pulls up in the GB, the new one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
He just
Here's the keys.
He just taxis in down the little dirt road next to the Bulldog Cafe. And,
yeah.
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 Followed by his limousine. And yeah. That was so cool.
It's just like, all right, let me just take off that sticker and it's your name, Cliff.
Cliff Secret right on there. Tease
Yep.
it up. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was neat. And that was, one thing my wife was just like, I don't understand why he just doesn't hire Peavey and Cliff, and work for them. Like he could have been like Howard Hughes' new test pilot. But
I don't know, maybe they did.
So
It could
all
be.
right, let's kind of let me ask you this,
Ask
because it was very evident that at the end of the movie, like the rocket, the jetpack's destroyed, it's
Mhm.
gone. But Peavey has the plans.
He does have the plans.
And it's almost as though like he's looking it over. It's like, I can make this better.
Yeah.
So it was very much open to, this was going to be a thing. And this is going to be a movie going forward. Or like a series, sorry. Sequel and all that kind of stuff. So what do you think happened? Because that was it. We never got another Rocketeer.
I vaguely remember that Bill Campbell was signed on for three movies with Disney, but once this film came out, and it was a flop, not because it was a bad film, but I think it was just a timing, however they promoted it, that they basically canceled the sequels and they just never did it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think this movie just doesn't really resonate with like a wide audience or something? Or
so here's,
because it's got a huge fan base.
It's got a huge fan base.
But is it still kind of more like a cult following?
We've read and we've talked about how like the bad thing about this movie was it did come out with these two big blockbusters of Robin Hood and Terminator 2, and it just kind of got lost. And
was it marketed
like
very well?
Yeah, which is sad. But I do think like, because my one complaint about this, again, Rocketeer fans, please don't attack me. But my one complaint about this movie is that we hardly see him as the Rocketeer. And I think this is a good, like this movie, I feel like, or this whole story would have benefited from more movies, because I think what I wanted out of the movie, I probably would have gotten out of the sequel. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I wanted more as a kid, more him flying around and fighting and because he never shoots the gun. He gets that cool gun and has that heroic pose.
Yeah.
But he never shoots it.
Right.
He loses it. I guess I wanted him to do more of that. And, I think for me, it would have benefited from, he rebuilds that pack. He becomes, he can become a hero of LA.
Yeah, and I guess that's it, because it's really not about like the Rocketeer as a character, like a super,
Yeah.
superhero, like he owns the pack. The pack is his.
Mhm.
He's on his mission. He's got the helmet and he's flying around doing jobs. It's just he had the pack.
Yeah.
He kind of became the character name given to him by the news reporters. And
I thought that was Bigelow. Didn't Bigelow?
Bigelow.
Yeah, Bigelow. Yeah.
Yeah. How about Missile Man? No, that's stupid. Yeah. So, and that was probably a trivia question. But yeah, he was never really the Rocketeer as a character running.
Yeah.
He just had the pack for a while, just enough to get his girl back, and then was going to give it back to Howard Hughes until Neville blew up.
Yeah. I promise, sir, I'll give it back to you when I'm done.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry, it blew up.
Yeah.
Which Howard Hughes didn't care. He just wanted it out of the hands of the Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my only complaint. And I think as a 10-year-old, when I watched this movie, because it really much is a love story.
Yeah, it was probably,
it wasn't.
Did it feel mushy gushy? Did it feel like a mushy gushy love story?
It might have back then,
maybe. Yeah.
But now watching it like last night, I kind of appreciated that love story aspect a little bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why my wife loved it so much as a kid. But yeah, I don't know. I just wish I would have loved to seen a Rocketeer 2.
Yeah.
With the same characters, same director, same everything.
He probably would, at this point he's going after Nazis.
Yeah.
Right?
Or just I don't know, even being like a local hero. It doesn't even have to be a big scale, like he's across, in the war.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, because if you ever hear about, oh man, I feel like now they totally missed an opportunity. But did you ever hear about there's a thing called the Battle of Los Angeles? And it was a night in San Pedro. Yeah. Where all the residents woke up and like all the guns that they had, this is during World War II, just started firing. And everyone kind of, the idea was that like there was nothing there, it was testing, but there's been this whole cover up that it was actually like a German sub or a Japanese sub. Oh. And that there were planes that got really close. Huh. That you could have done a sequel right there. Oh, wow. He could have been involved in the Battle of LA, and that could have been the little story device right there.
Okay, so
there you go.
So
I just wrote it.
Cliff probably still has the helmet, right?
Yeah, it's his helmet.
It's his helmet.
That's not Hughes' helmet.
He didn't have to get that back. It was his.
Yeah, that's his.
I still can't figure out what the heck he made the helmet out of.
Yeah,
was it a radio, toaster?
Yeah, if you know in the comments. Let us know.
Somebody knows. Somebody out there knows what that was.
But he did it in a night. One night.
Yeah. Yeah. That was impressive.
Yeah.
That Peavey, man. So Peavey makes a new rocket pack.
Mm-hmm.
Better one. He's got the helmet. We've got the Japanese sub off the coast.
Yep.
Goes into action.
Yeah. Well, Jim.
Yeah.
I think it's time for your movie magic.
Movie magic. I got some movie magic on this one.
All right.
So for those of you that don't know, I was part of the helmet and rocket crew way back when in 1990, where we built the helmets and rocket packs. What a good time. Mm-hmm. What a lot of fun. And there was a lot of guys that worked on it. We had quite a team of people, working on it. And I'm not going to go into all the details of it because it's a long story and lots of information, but I can just share this with you.
Okay.
Check it out. Well, first off, the Rocketeer helmet right over there.
Uh-huh.
Let's talk about that first.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to move that.
You want to move that there. So that was it's not a screen used helmet, but it was made along with the other helmets for the film.
Okay.
So while we were working on the ones for the film.
Now you're talking about other helmets. So you're talking about because
there were multiple
hero helmet. You're talking about like the helmet that you could just run around in.
Yeah, there were multiple helmets for the film, and even different shades of tint on the lenses. Mm-hmm. The helmet with a bullet hit in it. So there's lots of helmets. Mm-hmm. Skydiving helmets. So that one was made along with the production one. So it's the exact same thing. So I have that, and then. And this this here,
You have the jetpack.
the jetpack. Now
My gosh.
So this is the original parts made for the film.
I just want to make sure we got this on camera, right? Okay, cool.
You got it? Yeah.
To make sure his placement right. Okay, so it's original parts for the film.
It's the original parts, the original, like you would call it sculpture, original pattern. These are the original pieces that were made. Molds were taken from this pack and used to create the ones for the film.
Wow.
So, and I was gonna like put this kind of all together because I do have other parts. I have the rocket engines. Here's a piece of an engine.
Wow.
Now these are these are redone pieces. These ones here aren't the original pieces. These are redone. And the radiator is actually a resin cast piece. That's not the original pattern piece, but the bulk of this is original to the film.
Wow, that's cool.
There you go. So that's really cool. And I'm not too sure how I ended up with it. I mean, it was in the shop, in our archive, just for years and years and years. And at some point, it's like, I'm just going to take it home because nobody seems to care about it. At the time, nobody cared. And so I just saved it.
All right, real quick.
And I'm glad I did because a lot of other stuff just disappeared and who knows where it went.
Okay, real quick. If you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I highly recommend you checking out this episode on YouTube so then you can actually see what Jim is showing us here because it truly is pretty cool to see. So going back to this, you said that you worked on the packs. That you made different designs for the packs. Like did you make all the different ones? Like, hey, what do you think of this one, or what do you think of this pack? And then Joe Johnson had to pick one.
Yeah. So we'll show it. We'll show it, and we'll do some insert cuts. But there were several versions of the rocket pack. So the very first rocket pack looked much like the comic book rocket pack, where it was like a single engine nacelle tube, with bins on it. That prototype was made, and we put it on a person's back. It looked really dumb because it kind of it didn't really fit snugly to a person's back. It looks okay on an illustrated comic, but in real life, it looked really silly.
Yeah.
So then we did another version, which was the barrel of the pack was more triangular shaped. So it had a little kind of a flat to the back. And even that one looked silly on the person's back. So the designer did another version where it was a twin nacelle, so a 2-engine pack. That looked really good, but it wasn't quite the final version. And then the final version is the one that I showed you here. So it went through various stages of development before.
Did you, now when you had all these different packs, did you have a favorite, and were you hoping that that favorite would get picked?
Oh, it's definitely the final version. Yeah.
I love that. That was one thing I held back from saying earlier because I wanted to talk about it now. Was the design of the pack is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Like
amazing.
It just really looks so sleek and so cool. And again, that was one of the things where in this movie I had so much going for it that I liked. And that pack, it's really cool looking.
Yeah.
The dual engines.
Yeah, super cool, super fun. Yeah,
and realistic. Like it
looks like it could really.
Looks like Howard Hughes really could have made something like that.
Yeah, I always thought it was kind of weird though how he would sort of fly, horizontally on it. He really would just be kind of like, his legs.
Like when he's in the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah. So, but it's the design of the helmet and the pack, super cool, super fun, and a lot of great work. A lot of guys working on it. Whole team. We and I'm talking about the guys at Design Centers at the time, our little model prop shop. We did those pieces, and then our molds were handed off to the special effects guys, and they did all sorts of versions. Rubber ones and ones that would shoot fire, and ones for skydiving. So but it was a whole operation from helmets to various packs and leather harnesses and all that. Everything that goes into
making it.
Yeah.
That's something that, probably a lot of people don't know when they do movies. So think about like the greatest costumes, helmets, lightsabers, that there's many different versions, right?
Yeah.
There's the what we call the hero prop, which is the camera, like what we show. You see every little detail, but there's ones where it's like less detail, but like I can maneuver in it.
Yeah, yeah.
I can run fast in it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's cool. And like you said, like there's one with fire. Like not all the packs that Billy Campbell wore had the fire in it.
Right. Yeah. And there's so much about, information behind the packs, ones for the movies, and, one that has a bullet hit and one that has fueling ports and one that has a fan that spin and one that doesn't. And, a good friend of mine, Mike Posner, he worked on the film, one of the key, prop guys, and he's putting together a book, which is really neat. So it was going to start off as being kind of like a fan magazine of the making of the helmet and the rocket pack. But it's actually turning into more of a book.
Oh, cool.
And it'll be coming out soon, and it's a lot of fun. And we've been, chatting and reminiscing, and he's been contacting all, the guys that worked on it, and got some great interviews from, film production people too. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. So, look forward to it. Mike Posner, his Instagram is circa 1964, and you can check out, his stuff too. He's still very active. Doing props, and I know he's done a lot of work for Leica Studios. He's been running the model shop up there for a while. And actually he made these parts here, and he's been faithfully, kind of remastering some of the original bits and pieces. So that's really cool. But as far as a costume goes, as far as like cosplay and stuff and the fans out there, that's crazy. Yeah, crazy. And so I got these. Let me show you these here. These are the gauntlets, the hand controls.
Oh yeah.
And what's cool about these, you can see how it has the firing button on it, and then it's got the cables. And what it is that when you put these on your hands and you move your hand left or right, it's supposed to operate these control cables to direct the nozzles on the rocket pack.
Oh, so it's like to go forward, backwards,
sideways. To go left and right. And these were made by my buddy Tim, and I call him my buddy because we kind of became friends. He originally bought some of my collectibles of fins and stuff, and he's been working on his own rocket pack. And he's crazy. Look at these. These are dead on to the originals. Yeah. And I think he bought a set of the gauntlets from the film that were used in the film and used it to make replicas. So. He's got the harness going, he's got the gauntlets, and he's making his own rocket pack. Authentic.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So hats off to Tim in New Hampshire. This guy. Yeah. Amazing. Great guy. Nice guy.
Cool.
So Michael, what's your deeper theme?
So, we're a couple guys that also work at a church. And so we kind of look at this through the Christian perspective. And what I took away from watching it this time was the love story, right? I do think that this movie was about the love stories, about Cliff and Jenny. And it kind of started in the very beginning where Cliff was, he's a young man, and as we know that young men make bad decisions. But he's got like the world by the tail, right? Like he's got a cool job, he's got a actress girlfriend, and
brand new planes,
nationals,
yeah.
So he's just like, it's really all about him, And I want to talk about the idea of the discipleship, because in the very beginning, Peavey tells Cliff that if you're not careful, you're going to lose that girl. Right? Like that's wisdom right there.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm watching you. Like you're all about you. You're all about the plane. You're all about just like your interests. Right? He even gets mad at Jenny because she doesn't come to watch him, fly a plane.
Yeah.
And he, gets all upset about that. So from the beginning, Peavey says, you're going to lose that girl. And like, that's just one instance, but you can tell like Peavey is, even though he kind of writes him off, is a big influence in his life.
Oh yeah.
Like they're not only like, are they friends, but like there's a good discipleship relationship there,
like a mentorship.
like a mentorship.
Yeah.
And so I just like that, because then the whole movie is about him. He then loses Jenny because she gets wooed by Neville.
Yeah.
And then he actually really loses her when she gets kidnapped. So so just the idea, like, Peavey was right. And that was one of the things where Peavey doesn't rub it in his face. He doesn't be like, I told you. He then becomes part of the solution on helping Cliff get her back. And I think that's what, discipleship is that, for anyone who's looking at the next generation, I've been a youth pastor for years. I love working with younger generation in a church setting, in a sports setting. But the one key that I feel like we as disciplers, or mentors need to do is always allow room for mistakes. Always allow room for them to be a young man and to grow. Yeah, you can give your wisdom and you can share these things, but you got to allow for that person to, one, don't take it personal if they don't listen to you, but be there for them when they realize, like, oh man, you were right. I blew it. I'm like, yeah, you did. All right, let me help you now. And I think that, to me, that's always been the mark of a good disciple. And I think that's where, like how Paul was with Timothy. That's why Paul was constantly sending letters back, trying to instruct him, trying to encourage Timothy in the ministry. Allow for mistakes and not to write people off, not to be like, well, you messed up, I'm going to move on to someone else now because you didn't listen to me. But no, I'll be there to help you and guide you, and you're going to grow and you're going to learn from this. So I know the people that in my life that discipled me, they never wrote me off. They were always there. And I know I said a lot of dumb things and did a lot of dumb things, but they were still there for me. So that's kind of the deeper thing here with the Rocketeer, that one, it is a love story between Cliff and Jenny, but it's also a great picture of what true discipleship should look like. So
that's good.
All right. Well, enough of this friendly stuff. It's time for trivia battle.
Trivia battle. Okay.
We need like a song.
Yeah.
Anyways,
fanfare.
All right. Now look. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. I'm not feeling very confident in this.
I'm feeling
with this movie.
I'm feeling very overconfident.
However, if I do win,
yeah,
I might hold it over your head to the day you die.
Probably.
I intentionally put some softballs in here.
So,
because I think you're going to lose.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably am.
But we'll see how it pans out. Also, I put some really hard ones in here for you.
Okay.
So, are you guys ready?
We're ready.
All right.
Since I won Terminator, I'm going to go first.
Since you won, you. Are you sure? Smoked me on Terminator.
I'm gonna let you go first.
Yeah, it was Terminator. So last week it was 7-3.
Yeah.
So I you know what? No, I'll let you go first.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
All right.
Okay. You ready for your first question?
I am ready for my first question.
All right. So right out the gate, we're gonna be talking about the plane.
All right.
Oh, good.
What is the tail number of the plane, of the GB?
Don't even ask me to steal. No, actually, no. I might know. I think I do know.
The tail number of the plane.
And I will say there's a distinction. There's a racing number, and then there's the tail number.
Oh, man.
Well, the racing number is number 4.
Yes.
I know that. So do I win with the number 4? It's
okay.
He said tail number.
I want to know
clearly.
Tail
He
number.
said
all right, hang
number.
on. I'm trying to picture it in my head. N77 V. Is that it?
God, you're so close.
N77RV. No, NV. No, N77 I'm seeing it in my
You
head.
you have all the characters. They're just a little mixed up.
Oh my gosh. I would never have known this. I was gonna say 93.
NR77V.
Yep, that's it.
Okay,
There you go. Give it to him.
It
It's
is
got to be
N.
like
Good.
national racing.
No, so I actually looked this up.
What is it?
The N is the code for all planes in America.
Okay.
The rest is just a serial to identify that plane.
So
specifically.
R77V is the serial number.
Yeah, that's
All
like
right,
its number for that plane.
Okay, number 4.
All
And
right.
then it's racing number 4, which you said.
Okay.
Okay. Next question.
You know how squirrely those planes are? They are so squirrely to fly that
Oh yeah, apparently
Yeah,
they're
I
very
heard they're, like,
dangerous.
that a professional crazy air pilot would not fly that thing
Yeah.
to transport it. He says, "No, I'm not doing it."
Yeah.
From what I read or heard.
Nah, heard the same thing.
Yeah.
All right.
All
But
right.
Cliff did it. He could do it.
Next question. This is for you, Michael.
Hmm.
Okay, so there's the FBI guys in the beginning of the movie. They're pursuing the other criminal guys.
Mm-hmm.
How many cars have the FBI agents in the pursuit? How many cars had they trashed in the past month, including the one they're driving?
4.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah. 3.
3. Yep. Because as they're
Oh,
chasing,
by one?
as they're
By one?
chasing, he says, "This is the Hoover's gonna like."
This is
Hoover's
the
gonna-
third car this month.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That was good. No, I don't know that one.
All right. Okay. I have one more plane question.
Good. Back to him.
What emblem is on the front engine shroud of the GB? There's a really there's a specific, and I never noticed it before.
Oh, it's a clover and 2 dice.
Yep, that's it. It's a
Yeah.
clover and 2 dice.
Is it
3-0.
Is it a 4-leaf clover? I don't remember.
No,
it's just
a
a clover.
I looked. It was just a clover. It wasn't a 4-leaf clover.
Huh.
All right, Michael, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You're getting all the FBI ones. So they catch the guy, right? And right before they load him into the ambulance, they threaten to send him where if he doesn't talk.
Well, I mean,
They're gonna send him to blank if he doesn't tell them what's going
yeah.
on.
I want to say the slammer, but it's not. I'm not saying that.
I'll say it's a place.
Yeah. No. Yeah. We're. They didn't say Alcatraz, was it? Was it Alcatraz?
It was Alcatraz.
Okay. Alcatraz.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
But we're gonna send you to Alcatraz. If you don't
All right.
stop
1 to
talking.
3. I'm on the board. At least it's not a blowout. Well, at least I scored.
Okay. You ready?
Ready.
You're probably gonna get this one. While testing the rocket pack with the statue, it takes off and is probably halfway to what state?
Oh, dang. Kansas.
Yeah, it's Kansas.
I actually knew that.
You'd probably be
I
halfway
was,
to.
I was hoping to steal.
You'd be
Uh,
halfway to Kansas
Halfway
by
to
now.
Kansas by now. You
Dang it.
chowderhead.
Okay, next question. What is the name of the movie of? What is the name of the Neville Sinclair movie Jenny and Cliff go to see on their date?
Wings of Honor?
Yes, it
Okay.
is Wings of Honor.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
All right.
Wings of Honor.
2 to 4. 2 to 4.
Nice.
Okay, next question.
All right.
This one's phrased a little weird, but okay. What is the number of take of movie scene that gets interrupted by Cliff when he tips over the set wall? What take is it?
Oh, man. I don't know. The only number that pops into my head is 27, but I don't. That's not it. 27.
It's not 27. Steele?
45.
No, you were close. It was take 28.
Oh,
You're
shoot.
one off.
That.
Oh, yeah, but I didn't include the one that he knocked over the...
No, that's what I'm saying is what take was it that he knocks when he
yeah.
knocks it
That's a
over? It's
bummer.
take 28.
Okay. Oh,
Dang,
Alright.
that was close. Okay.
that was
Next.
funny. The Laughing Bandit. Like the scene starts.
Man, I hope that wasn't a trivia
Oh,
question.
sorry.
No, it
No,
wasn't.
okay. I just like that the
Should
scene always...
because I actually knew that. Anyway.
The scene always starts with them laughing. It always cracks me up.
Okay, so when Cliff is posing as the waiter, what item, and he gives Jenny the note, what item in the restaurant does he tell Jenny to meet him by?
The bathroom. No?
No.
Shoot, I don't know.
Steal?
Oh, I know.
What?
I can't steal. I know.
Well-
but now I do know. But go ahead. Go ahead. I said it wrong. So
If
you
he
gets
doesn't
it
know,
wrong.
yeah, you can
I
try
might
again.
I might get it wrong because I think I'm guessing.
Okay.
Yes, the fountain.
That's not what it says on the note specifically, though. It
Okay,
doesn't say
then
the
I,
fountain.
then I don't know.
Okay.
shoot, then I might be wrong. Fish tank.
That's close. It says the big fish.
The big.
Oh,
by the big fish.
I remember fish.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a bummer.
I don't think either of you guys get that one.
No.
I was looking for big fish.
Big
That's
fish
that's
is
what
pretty
I was-
specific.
Big fish is pretty.
Yeah.
Dang.
Mm.
Okay. Ways of honor. Take 20.
All right. Well, he pretty much won.
Yeah.
It's over.
Well, it's 2 to 4.
2 to
and
4.
I really only have one question left.
And it goes to me.
I think it would be going to you. Yeah.
All right, ask me.
Wait. No. It'd be going to him because
No.
you got the big fish.
You're
question.
right. You're right.
So I could win by more.
You could win by more
Let's
if you
do
want
it.
to try it. Okay.
Yeah.
At what speed does the GB's engine stall out?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Don't know.
You can guess.
Stalls out around 100.
Yep, that's it.
I just thought I was just trying to remember the quote.
That was the line. Yeah.
And Peavey
It
says it,
stalls out-
right?
Stalls out
Yeah.
around 100.
Yeah.
All right, my question for you, because I just thought it was odd.
Okay.
Okay, there are the Bulldog Cafe.
Yeah.
There are 2 foods that are listed on the side of the dog.
Yeah.
What are the 2 foods?
Well, on the right paw
Yeah,
says tamales,
yeah.
and on the left paw it says
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
I just thought it was so because that's
Doesn't that
that's
seem
such
odd?
a California thing though.
It's a very California thing. I
So-
thought that that's a really odd tamales.
Yeah, like
but
it's not hot dog or burger.
No, that's a
it's like tamale. No, yeah, that's probably it.
So it was kind of like it's a California thing. It was like the orchard, right? It was
Yeah.
like an orange grove. So there's probably a lot of migrant workers.
So I guess there really was a Bulldog Cafe. There really was.
Well, there was one in Los Angeles. It was,
Yeah,
it was the Dog Diner, I think is what it was called originally.
yeah.
But this one was cool because it was kind of set in a little more rural area and in the groves and the farming. So it was probably had a little nod to the workers.
Yeah.
They want a little, a little taste of
Tamales Cafe and
Yeah.
ice cream.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's pretty good. All right, well, you won.
Well, you said you had another question. You said you had.
Oh, I mean, you're gonna know this one, and I wish
It's
you
just-
would have
it's
asked.
just
I wish you would have
plain-
asked me.
It's just fun.
Just wish you would have asked me.
It's more just plain crap. I just have more just plain questions. All the other ones.
what's the name of the jetpack? You have to know this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
this-
I know that one.
Yeah, the Sirius X3.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
too easy.
What's the name of the lady that Cliff said you haven't had a date in so many years? And he says, "Oh, this girl. What was her name?"
Yeah, Florence Maxwell.
Oh, yeah, Florence Maxwell. All right. Well, very
no,
good.
No point dating anybody else.
Okay,
after her.
I had one question.
What?
I mean, one that this is off the top of my head. What's the name of the statue?
Oh, I know the name of the statue.
What is it? Do you know?
Do you know? You don't
No.
know. Lucky Lindy.
It's Lucky Lindy.
Because it was Lucky Lindy's flight school.
Yeah,
That's
they go and they
right,
steal
Lucky
the
Lindy.
statue.
Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
You won. That's as expected. So nice. Should get some ice cream after this.
And some tamales.
Some tamales.
And some
All right.
pie.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up. What are your final thoughts and your ranking?
I really, really like this movie.
Mhm.
It's just perfect beginning to end. Beginning to end. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well directed, beautifully shot, written, everything. Great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Standalone movie. Yeah. You didn't have to do a sequel. I don't have to.
So would you rate? What's your
On my ranking,
Yeah.
it's a 9.5.
9.5? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
All right.
almost a 10. Almost a 10.
Well, like I said, for me, I liked everything about this movie except for the fact that it left me wanting. Like I wanted more. But still, yeah, I would agree with you. It is a beautifully done film. From everything. But just because I want more. I put it at a 7.9.
Whoa.
It's still a good movie.
No, but when you
Still a good movie.
when you explained it, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what? It's almost a 10 for me. I think it's just my personal ranking.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite movies also involve a time period that I connect with.
Yeah.
So I don't connect with the 30s and 40s. Beautiful time period, and I love it. But it's it's not where I live. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. So,
All right. Well, that is the Rocketeer. It was a fun time watching it. This was your suggestion, so thanks for suggesting that.
yeah.
It was a good time. And so thank you guys for tuning in. And once again, if you made it this far, please like and subscribe, and comment in the comments. Let us know everything we got wrong.
No, don't. Please don't. The comments are going to be just over the top.
All right.
There's so much we could talk about in this movie.
Yes.
We're just having a fun conversation.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, it's just for fun. So, all right. Well, again, thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. All right. Hey, would it be cool if I try this on?
No.